My twin brother and I inherited 50 million, but there's a catch. Only one of us can have it. The other has to sign away everything forever. No contact, no claim, just gone. And we have 30 days to decide who gives up their future, who sacrifices everything, who disappears. I thought I knew my brother. I was wrong. And by the time I realised that it was too late, one of us was going to destroy the other. We just didn't know which one yet. Okay, so I'm Ethan Cooper, 32 years old, and 3 weeks ago my father died. Heart attack, sudden. He was 64, too young. We weren't close, haven't been for years. But he was still my father, still the man who raised me, sort of. My twin sister Mara and I, we're fraternal twins, born 6 minutes apart. We both flew home for the funeral. First time we'd been in the same room in 5 years. 5 years. We used to be inseparable, used to finish each other's sentences, used to be best friends. Then life happened. We grew apart, built separate lives, separate worlds. She moved to New York. Finance, high-powered, ruthless. I stayed in Seattle, tech's startup, failed startup, living in a studio apartment with $90,000 in student debt and a dream that died 3 years ago. The funeral was small. Dad didn't have many friends, didn't want many friends. He was a loner, brilliant mathematician, made his fortune in hedge funds in the 90s, retired at 50 with more money than he knew what to do with. Spent the last 14 years alone in his house, managing his investments, reading books, avoiding people, avoiding US. Mara and I sat on opposite sides of the funeral home, didn't talk, didn't even make eye contact. Too much history, too much pain, too many years of growing apart, growing cold, growing into strangers who happened to share DNA. After the funeral, Dad's lawyer, a man named Richard Chen, looked exactly like you'd expect a trust fund lawyer to look. Expensive suit, expensive watch, expensive everything, pulled us aside. Your father left specific instructions. I need both of you to come to my office tomorrow, 2 p.m. This is mandatory, don't be late. Mandatory, not requested, mandatory. Mara and I looked at each other for the first time in 5 years. She looked different, older, harder, more polished. Designer clothes, perfect hair. She'd always been ambitious, but now she looked like ambition, like success, like everything I'd failed to become. Fine, she said, cold voice. I'll be there. I nodded. What else could I do? The next day, we sat in Richard Chen's office. 19th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. The kind of office that screams money. Mara sat on one side of his massive desk. I sat on the other, as far apart as possible. Richard cleared his throat, pulled out a folder. Your father's estate is complicated. He left very specific instructions about how his assets should be distributed. Before I explain, I need you both to understand this will is legally binding. It's been reviewed by multiple attorneys. It's ironclad. You can challenge it if you want. You'll lose and you'll forfeit everything. Do you understand? We nodded. Good. Your father's estate is worth approximately $50 million. Liquid assets, investments, real estate, everything. 50 million. I'd known Dad was wealthy, but 50 million, that was generational wealth. That was never work again money. That was everything. However, Richard continued, voice careful, measured, your father didn't leave the money to both of you. He left it to one of you, whichever one of you the other agrees to give it to. Silence. Complete, frozen silence. I don't understand, Mara said finally. Lawyer voice, sharp voice. What do you mean? The other agrees to give it to. Richard pulled out a document, read from it. I Jonathan Cooper, being of sound mind and body, leave my entire estate to whichever of my children the other willingly surrenders their claim to. The process is as follows. Within 30 days of my death, one twin must sign a legal document relinquishing all claim to my estate in perpetuity in favour of the other twin. This document is irrevocable. Once signed, it cannot be undone. The twin who signs away their claim will receive nothing. No money, no assets, no inheritance. The other twin will receive the entire $50 million. If both twins refuse to sign, or if 30 days pass without a decision, the entire estate goes to charity. No second chances, no extensions. This is final. My brain stopped processing. He wants us to choose? I asked, voice barely above whisper. He wants one of us to give up everything so the other can have it all? Yes, Richard said simply. Why? Mara demanded. Why would he do this? Richard pulled out a letter, handwritten, Dad's handwriting. He left this for you, an explanation. Would you like me to read it? Yes, we said in unison. First thing we'd agreed on in 5 years. Richard opened the letter, read, Ethan and Mara, if you're hearing this, I'm dead, and you're probably confused, angry, maybe even hateful toward me for putting you in this position. That's fair, I've earned that, but let me explain. You two used to be inseparable, best friends, twins in every sense of the word. Then you grew up, grew apart, stopped talking, stopped caring about each other, became strangers. I watched it happen, watched you choose careers over connection, ambition over family, success over each other, and it broke my heart. So I'm giving you a choice, a terrible choice, but a choice nonetheless. One of you must sacrifice for the other. One of you must give up everything, all claim to my money, forever, so the other can thrive. This isn't about the money. It's about whether you still love each other enough to make that sacrifice, whether family means more than fortune, whether one of you is willing to walk away with nothing so the other can have everything. I know it's cruel. I know you'll hate me for it. But I desperately hope that through this process, you'll rediscover what you lost. You'll talk, you'll connect, you'll remember that you're not just twins, you're family, and maybe one of you will love the other enough to let them win, to give them the future, to sacrifice yourself for their happiness. If neither of you can do that, if you both refuse to sacrifice, then you've proven my point. You've proven you care more about money than each other. And in that case, you deserve nothing. The money will go to charity, to people who actually need it, not to two adults who can't remember how to love each other. You have 30 days. Choose wisely. Choose with love. Or don't choose at all. Your father, Jonathan. Richard put down the letter. We sat in silence, stunned. This is insane, Mara said finally. This is manipulation. This is cruel. This is legal, Richard said calmly. And it's binding. You have 30 days starting today. At the end of 30 days, you must both appear here. One of you signs the relinquishment document. The other receives the estate. Or you both refuse, and everything goes to charity. Those are your options. What if we just split it, I asked. I'm 50-50. We each get $25 million. Problem solved. The will specifically prohibits that. All or nothing, one twin or neither. Those are the only options. Can we contest this? Mara asked, lawyer mode, already thinking legally. You can try. You'll lose. Your father worked with the best estate attorneys in the state. This will is bulletproof. Multiple precedents support this kind of conditional inheritance. courts generally uphold the wishes of the deceased as long as the conditions aren't illegal or impossible. This is neither. It's just difficult, emotionally difficult, but legal. Mara stood. This is bullshit. Dad was a sadist. He's dead and he's still controlling us, still manipulating us. She looked at me for the first time, really looked. I'm not signing. I'm not giving you 50 million. I didn't ask you to, I said quietly. Good, because I won't. Figure out your own life, Ethan, like I had to figure out mine. She grabbed her purse, walked out, door slammed behind her. I sat there, alone with Richard. She'll come around, he said gently. People usually do when this much money is involved. You've seen this before? Conditional inheritances like this? A few times. Usually it's parents trying to force reconciliation, force connection. Your father isn't the first to use money as leverage to fix broken relationships. Won't be the last. Does it work? Richard was quiet for a moment. Sometimes it makes things worse. Depends on the people, depends on what they value more, money or family. I left his office in a daze, walked to my car, sat there for 20 minutes just staring at nothing. $50 million, all or nothing. One of us had to sacrifice everything and we had 30 days to decide, or we both lost. I drove to my shitty studio, apartment, climbed the stairs to the 3rd floor, unlocked my door, sat on my second-hand couch, and I thought, what would I do if Mara asked me to sign, if she begged me to give up my claim so she could have the money? Would I do it? Would I sacrifice my future for hers? I didn't know, honestly didn't know, because the truth was I needed that money desperately. I was drowning in debt. My startup had failed. I was bartending 3 nights a week to make rent. I had nothing, no future, no prospects, no path forward. $50 million would save me, would give me a second chance, would let me breathe for the first time in years. But if I took it, Mara got nothing, and she'd hate me forever. Forever. Was it worth it? Was any amount of money worth losing my twin, my sister, the person I'd shared a womb with? I didn't know, but I was about to find out. We both were, because the clock was ticking 30 days, and one of us was going to have to sacrifice everything. The question was, who? And how far would we go to make sure it was the other person? How far would we go to win? I was about to find out, and I was terrified of the answer. The negotiation, 3 days, passed. I didn't hear from Mara, didn't expect to. She was back in New York, probably strategizing with lawyers, figuring out angles, loopholes. That's what she did. That's who she'd become. A strategist, a fighter, someone who didn't lose ever. Meanwhile, I was bartending, pouring drinks, pretending my life wasn't falling apart, pretending I wasn't thinking about $50 million every single second. 27 days left. The countdown was constant, suffocating, present in every moment. On day 4, my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Ethan. Mara's voice, cold, controlled. We need to talk. Okay, talk. Not on the phone, in person. I'm flying back to Seattle tomorrow. Meet me at Dad's house, 2 p.m. She hung up before I could respond. Dad's house, the place we'd grown up, the place we'd been avoiding since the funeral, the place that held every memory of our childhood, back when we'd actually loved each other. I didn't sleep that night, just lay in bed wondering, what was her angle? What was she planning? Because Mara didn't do anything without a plan. The next day I drove to Dad's house. Big house, 4 bedrooms, quiet neighbourhood. The lawn needed mowing. The paint was peeling. Dad had let it deteriorate in his final years, let everything deteriorate, including his relationship with us. I used my key, walked inside, smelled like dust and old books and loneliness. Mara was already there, standing in the living room, looking at old photos on the mantle, photos of us as kids, smiling, happy, before everything went wrong. "I've been thinking," she said, not turning around, not looking at me, "about the will, about Dad's little game, about what he wanted. And he wanted one of us to sacrifice, to prove we love each other more than money, to prove family matters." She turned to face me, eyes hard, calculating. But here's the thing, Ethan. I don't think he cared who sacrificed, just that someone did, that one of us was willing. What are you saying? I'm saying we should negotiate, like adults. Figure out who needs the money more, who deserves it more, who should get it. She pulled out a notebook, sat on the couch. "Let's make our cases." I sat across from her, wary, suspicious. "You first," she said. "Tell me why you should get the money." I took a breath. "I'm broke, $90,000 in student loans. My startup failed 3 years ago. I invested everything, my savings, money I borrowed from friends, and it collapsed. I'm bartending to make rent. I have no retirement, no savings, no future. The money would save me. Give me a second chance. Let me start over. Build something. I need it, Mara. Desperately." She wrote notes. No emotion, just facts. "My turn," she said. "I make $400,000 a year. I have a brownstone in Brooklyn. I have savings, investments. I'm successful. By every measure, I don't need the money." She paused. "But here's what you don't know. I have a daughter." The room tilted. "What?" "A daughter. Sophia. She's 3. I had her with my ex-boyfriend. He left when she was 6 months old. Hasn't seen her since. Pays minimal child support. It's just me and her." Mara's voice cracked. First emotion I'd heard. "And she has a medical condition, rare genetic disorder. She needs treatment, specialists, surgeries. My insurance covers some, but not all, not even most. I'm paying $15,000 a month out of pocket. I've burned through my savings, maxed out credit cards, borrowed from colleagues. I'm drowning, Ethan, drowning in medical debt, in fear that I won't be able to pay for what she needs, that I'll have to choose between her health and keeping our home, that I'll fail her." She was crying now, real tears, not manipulative tears, real ones. The $50 million, it would save her, would pay for every treatment she'll ever need, would give her a future, a life without pain, without limitations, would let me be her mother instead of her creditor. She looked at me. "So tell me, Ethan, who needs it more, the guy who failed at business and wants a second chance, or the mother trying to save her dying daughter?" I felt sick, actually physically sick, because she was right. A child's life versus my second chance. There was no comparison, no contest. "I didn't know," I said quietly, "about Sophia, about any of this. I didn't tell anyone, didn't want pity, didn't want help. But now I'm asking, I'm begging. Sign the document, Ethan. Give me the money. Save my daughter, please." It was perfect, too perfect, the exact argument that would make anyone, everyone agree. Who could say no to saving a child? Who could be that selfish? But something felt off, something in her delivery, in the timing. "When were you diagnosed?" I asked. "What?" "Sophia's condition. When was she diagnosed?" Mara hesitated, just for a second, but I caught it. 2 years ago. Why does it matter?" "What's the condition called?" Another hesitation. "Why are you interrogating me? She's sick, that's all you need to know." Then tell me, what's it called? She stood. I don't have to prove anything to you. Yes, you do. Because this is too convenient, too perfect. You show up with this tragic story right when we need to decide who gets the money. You expect me to just believe you? Her face went cold. You think I'm lying about my daughter being sick? I think you're a lawyer, a good lawyer, who knows exactly what arguments work, what stories get results. And this story, it's designed to make me sign, designed to make me the villain if I don't sign. It's manipulation, Mara, just like everything else you do. She grabbed her bag. Fuck you, Ethan. Fuck you for not believing me, for thinking I'd lie about my child. You want proof? Fine, I'll bring medical records. I'll bring Sophia. I'll prove it. And when I do, when you see that I'm telling the truth, I want you to remember this moment. Remember that you called me a liar when I was asking you to save my daughter's life. She stormed out. Door slammed. Again. And I sat there wondering, was I wrong? Had I just accused her of faking her daughter's illness? Was I that paranoid, that twisted by the money, or was my gut right? Was this a con? I didn't know, couldn't tell. The money was already corrupting us, making us suspicious, making us enemies, and we still had 26 days left. 26 days of this psychological warfare, this manipulation, this game. I drove home feeling worse than I'd felt in years. Called my best friend Jake, told him everything. Dude, he said, you accused her of faking her kid's illness? That's dark. I know, but something felt off. The timing, the way she told it. Or maybe she's desperate. Maybe she's telling the truth and you're so desperate for the money you can't say it. He was right. Maybe I was too desperate, too corrupted by the thought of $50 million, too willing to doubt my own sister, because doubting her meant I could justify taking the money, taking everything. What do? I asked. Wait for the proof. If she brings medical records, you apologise. If she doesn't, you were right to be suspicious. 2 days later, Mara called. I'm sending you something. Check your email. I opened my laptop. Email from Mara. Subject, proof. I clicked attached. Medical records, hospital letterhead, Sophia Cooper, age 3. Diagnosis, Krabbe disease. Rare genetic disorder, life expectancy, variable, treatment, ongoing, experimental, expensive, bills, so many bills, $15,000 per month, sometimes more. Insurance denial letters, appeals denials. It was all real, all true. Sophia existed. She was sick. Mara was drowning in medical debt. I'd been wrong, completely, utterly wrong. I called her. Mara, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have doubted you. No, you shouldn't have. Her voice was ice. I understand why you did. The money makes us paranoid, makes us suspicious of everything, but you should have trusted me, should have believed your sister. I know, and I'm sorry, truly. Silence, long silence. So what now? She asked. Will you sign? Will you give me the money? I wanted to say yes. Wanted to be the hero, the good brother, the one who sacrificed for family, but I couldn't, not yet. I need time to think, to process. How much time? We have 24 days left. A week. Give me a week. Fine, 1 week. Then I need an answer. That week was hell. I researched Krabbe disease, read everything, learned about the treatments, the costs, the prognosis. It was as bad as Mara said. Worse even. Without treatment, Sophia would deteriorate, lose motor function, cognitive ability, everything. The treatments were experimental, expensive, not covered by insurance. Mara was telling the truth. Her daughter was dying, and $50 million could save her, could give her a life, could give Mara peace, could solve everything. But if I signed, I got nothing. Stayed broke, stayed drowning in debt, stayed stuck in my failed life with no way out. Was that fair? Was it right to ask me to sacrifice my entire future for a niece I'd never even met? I called Mara on day 7. I've made a decision, and I'll sign on one condition. What condition? I want to meet her, meet Sophia. Before I sign away my future for her, I want to see her, want to know who I'm doing this for. Pause. That's fair. Come to New York this weekend. Meet her, then decide. I flew to New York on Saturday. Took a cab to Mara's brownstone in Brooklyn. Expensive neighbourhood, beautiful building. She opened the door, looked tired, exhausted in a way I'd never seen. She's napping, Mara said. Come in, quietly. I followed her inside. The house was so beautiful but lived in. Toys everywhere, medical equipment in the corner, pills, charts, schedules. This was real. This was her life. You can see her when she wakes up, Mara said. We sat in the kitchen. Awkward silence. How are you managing? I asked. Barely. I work from home 3 days a week so I can be with her. The other 2 days, she's with a medical aide, $200 a day. Add that to the $15,000 in treatments, plus rent, plus everything else. She trailed off. I'm drowning, Ethan. Every month I'm further behind, and every month she gets worse. The treatments are slowing the progression, but not stopping it. We're losing, and I don't know how much longer I can keep fighting. A small voice from the hallway. Mommy? Mara stood. Sophia's up. Come meet her. I followed Mara to the bedroom, and there she was, Sophia, tiny, 3 years old, big brown eyes, Mara's eyes. She was in a specialised bed, rails on the sides. She couldn't walk, could barely move her arms, but she smiled when she saw Mara. Mommy? Hi, baby. I want you to meet someone. This is your uncle, Ethan, my brother. Sophia looked at me, curious, innocent. Hi, Uncle Ethan. Hi, Sophia, I said, voice breaking, because this was real. This child was real. Her illness was real, and I was her only chance. Do you like trucks? She asked. I love trucks, I said. She smiled. Me too. Mommy says maybe someday I can drive one. Mara's face crumpled because Sophia didn't understand, didn't know she might never walk again, might never drive anything. She still had hope, still had dreams, and Mara was trying desperately to make them possible. We spent an hour with Sophia, playing with her toys, reading her books, watching her struggle to hold a crayon, to colour, to do things most 3-year-olds did easily. She never complained, never cried, just kept trying, kept smiling, kept being a beautiful, innocent child who didn't deserve any of this. When she fell asleep again, Mara and I went back to the kitchen. Well, she asked, have you decided? I looked at my sister, at the exhaustion in her eyes, at the desperation, at the love she had for her daughter. I'll sign, I said. I'll give you the money. She started crying. Thank you. Thank you, you're saving her life. You're saving us. But I have one more condition, I said. She stopped crying. What? I want updates, regular updates. I want to know how she's doing, how the treatments are going. I want to be part of her life, not just the uncle who gave up $50 million, but her actual uncle, her family. Mara nodded. Deal. You'll be part of her life, I promise. We hugged, first time in 5 years, real hug, and I felt good, scared, terrified of what I was giving up, but good, like I was doing the right thing, like Dad would be proud, like family mattered more than money, like I'd chosen correctly. We flew back to Seattle together, went to Richard Chen's office. I'm ready to sign, I told him. He pulled out the document. The relinquishment, pages and pages of legal language that all meant one thing. I was giving up everything, forever. Read it carefully, Richard said. Once you sign, it's irreversible. I read it, every word. It was brutal, clear, final. I was surrendering all claim to my father's estate, all 50 million to Mara, forever. I picked up the pen, hand shaking, and Mara grabbed my wrist. Wait, she said. I looked at her. What? I can't let you do this. What are you talking about? We agreed. I lied, she said quietly. About what? About Sophia's condition. She has Krabbe disease. That's true, but she's not dying. Not anymore. We found a treatment. Experimental. It's working. She's improving. Slowly, but improving. Her prognosis is good. Really good. She'll live. She'll thrive. I don't need $50 million to save her. I needed it to make her life easier, comfortable, but she's going to be okay regardless. I stared at her. You lied. I manipulated the truth, made it sound worse than it was, because I wanted the money, needed it, or thought I did. But watching you with her, seeing you willing to sacrifice everything for a niece you just met, I can't take that from you. It's not right. She pushed the document away. I'm not signing, and neither are you. We're both walking away, letting it go to charity because Dad was right. Money isn't worth destroying each other, isn't worth this game. But Sophia, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. I'll figure it out, like I always have. But I won't destroy my brother to do it. I won't be that person. We sat in silence. Richard looked between us. So neither of you is signing? You're both forfeiting? We looked at each other, nodded. Yes, Mara said, we're both walking away. Then the estate goes to charity, all 50 million per your father's instructions. Good, I said on. Let it go. Let someone who actually needs it have it. We'll figure out our own lives together. Mara smiled, real smile. Together. We left Richard's office, walked out into the Seattle rain, broke. But together, really together, for the first time in 5 years, and somehow that felt worth more than 50 million. Felt like we'd won something more important than money. We'd won each other back. And Dad, wherever he was probably smiling. His crazy, cruel plan had worked. We'd chosen family over everything. The twist. We walked out of Richard Chen's office feeling like we'd won something, like we'd beaten Dad's game, chosen family over money, chosen each other over $50 million. We were broke, both of us drowning in debt, but we were together, really together. For the first time in 5 years, we went to a diner, sat across from each other, ordered coffee. I can't believe we just did that, I said. Mara smiled, tired smile. Me neither. I thought for sure one of us would cave, would take the money. I almost did, so many times. Me too. Every bill, every medical expense, every moment I thought, just take it. Just sign the paper and let him sacrifice. But I couldn't. Not after seeing you with Sophia. Not after remembering who we used to be. We talked for hours, really talked about the 5 years we'd lost, about why we drifted apart, about the resentments we'd carried, about the people we'd become while avoiding each other. I blamed you, Mara admitted. For what? For being Dad's favourite, for being the boy, for getting his attention when I had to fight for scraps. Are you kidding? You were the successful one, the lawyer, the one who made something of herself. I was the failure, the dropout, the disappointment. But he talked about you all the time. Ethan's working on his startup. Ethan's so creative. Ethan's going to do something great. Meanwhile, I was making $400,000 a year and he barely acknowledged it. I stared at her. He talked about you, about how proud he was, about how you'd surpassed him, about how you were brilliant. We both went quiet, realising. He played us, Mara said slowly, told each of us the other was his favourite, made us compete, made us resent each other. Why would he do that? Control, manipulation, entertainment, who knows? Dad was... She trailed off. Complicated, I finished. That's a nice way of saying he was an asshole. She laughed, real laugh. Yeah, he really was. We left the diner feeling lighter, cleaner, like we'd shed something heavy. We exchanged numbers, real numbers, not the ones we'd avoided calling for 5 years. I want to see Sophia again, I said. Come to New York anytime. Your family, real family now. I flew home to Seattle, went back to my shitty apartment, back to bartending, back to my broke life, but it felt different, less suffocating, because I had my sister back, had family, and that mattered more than I'd realised. 3 days later, my phone rang. Richard Chen. Ethan, we need to talk. Can you come to my office today? Why? We already forfeited. It's done. Just come, please. It's important. Something in his voice. Urgency. Concern. I drove to his office. Mara was already there, sitting in the same chair as before, looking confused, worried. What's going on? I asked. Richard sat behind his desk, looking different, less composed, less certain. I need to tell you something I wasn't authorised to tell you before, but now that you've both forfeited, the conditions of the will allow me to share it. Share what? Mara asked. Richard pulled out another envelope, thicker this time. Your father's will had a second part, a secret part, one you were never supposed to see unless you made a specific choice. What choice? The choice to forfeit, both of you, to walk away from the money, to choose each other over the inheritance. He opened the envelope, pulled out documents. Your father didn't expect you to forfeit. He thought one of you would cave, would take the money, would sacrifice the other. That was the test, the real test, not whether one of you would sign, but whether both of you would refuse, whether you'd choose family, even when it cost you everything. My heart was racing. What I'm saying? I'm saying you passed, both of you. You chose each other, you chose family, and because you did, this second part of the will activates. He slid documents across the desk. Your father left instructions that if and only if both of you forfeited, the money doesn't go to charity, it goes to you, both of you, split equally, $25 million each. Silence. Complete, absolute silence. What? Mara whispered. It was a test. The whole thing, the choice, the sacrifice, the 30 days. He wanted to see if you'd choose each other, if you'd remember you were family, if money could destroy you or if love would save you. You chose love. You chose family, so you both inherit equally together. I couldn't process, couldn't think. $25 million each? Yes, plus he left another letter. Want me to read it? We nodded, mute, shocked. Richard opened the letter, read, Ethan and Mara, if you're hearing this, you did it. You chose each other. You remembered your twins, your family. You put love above money, sacrifice above selfishness, and I'm so incredibly proud. I knew this test was cruel, knew it would hurt, knew you'd hate me for it, but I had to know, had to see if the children I raised, despite my failures, despite my distance, despite everything I did wrong, still had the capacity to love each other more than they loved money. You proved you did. You proved I didn't completely fail as a father. You proved family still matters, even when it costs everything. So here's your reward. You both get the money, split equally, no conditions, no games, just wealth, security, freedom. Use it well, use it wisely. Pay off your debts, Ethan. Fund Sophia's treatments, Mara. Build your lives, build your futures. But most importantly, stay connected. Stay family. Don't let money divide you again. Don't let success make you strangers. Stay twins. Stay siblings. Stay the people you were in that lawyer's office when you both chose to walk away with nothing rather than destroy each other. That's all I ever wanted, for you to be family, really, truly family, not just by blood, but by choice. I love you both more than I ever knew how to show, and I'm sorry I was such a terrible father, such a distant, controlling, impossible man. But I desperately hope that through this test, through this cruelty, I gave you something valuable. Each other, take care of yourselves, take care of Sophia, and take care of each other. Always, your father, Jonathan. Mara was crying, sobbing. He planned this the whole time. Yes, Richard said gently. Every part, the cruel choice, the impossible sacrifice, the secret second will. He wanted to force you to choose, to see what you valued more, and you chose correctly. I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. 25 million, my debts erased, my future secured, my life saved, and I hadn't betrayed anyone, hadn't sacrificed Mara, hadn't chosen money over family. I'd done the right thing and I was being rewarded for it. There's one more thing, Richard said. He pulled out keys. Your father owned a house, separate from his estate, a beach house in the San Juans. He left it to both of you, jointly, equal ownership. He said, and I quote, "This is where you should raise your children, where you should gather for holidays, where you should remember your family. Don't sell it, don't fight over it, just use it together." He handed us the keys. Congratulations, you're both millionaires, and you have a beach house. And most importantly, you have each other. Your father would be very, very proud. We left his office in shock, walked to my car, sat in silence for 10 minutes. Finally, Mara spoke. Did that actually just happen? I think so. I think we just inherited $25 million each. And a beach house. And a beach house. More silence. Then we both started laughing. Hysterical laughter, relief laughter, disbelief laughter. Dad was insane, Mara said, completely insane. But it worked, I said. We're talking, we're together, we're family again. Yeah, we are. We drove to Dad's house, let ourselves in, looked at the photos on the mantel again, us as kids, smiling, happy. We should go there, Mara said, to the beach house. See it, make plans. When? This weekend. Bring Sophia. Start building new memories. Better memories. I'd like that. We sat on Dad's old couch in his empty house. And for the first time since his death, I felt connected to him, understood him. He wasn't trying to hurt us, I said. He was trying to save us from becoming like him, alone, distant, cut off from family. He was trying to make sure we didn't waste our lives like he wasted his. Mara agreed. And you know what? It worked. I'm calling my firm tomorrow, taking a leave of absence, spending time with Sophia, with you, with family. The money means I can afford to actually live instead of just surviving. I'm paying off my debts, I said. Then I'm starting over. New business, something meaningful, something that matters, not just chasing success, chasing purpose. We should invest some together, Mara said. Start something together. A brother-sister venture, something Dad would be proud of. I'd like that. I'd really like that. We spent the night in Dad's house, sleeping in our childhood bedrooms, talking until 3 a.m. like we used to, remembering who we'd been before life made us strangers, rebuilding what we'd lost, what Dad's cruel, brilliant, impossible test had forced us to find again. The next morning we went to the beach house, 2-hour drive north, beautiful property, right on the water, 3 bedrooms, huge windows, private beach, perfect. Sophia will love it here, Mara said. We all will. We spent the day exploring, planning, dreaming about holidays here, about Sophia learning to swim, about future kids, mine if I ever got my life together enough to have them, running on the beach, about family, real family, the kind Dad never gave us, but the kind he made possible by forcing us to choose each other. That night, we sat on the beach watching the sunset. Do you forgive him? Mara asked. For the test? For the manipulation? I thought about it. Yeah, I do, because it worked. We're here, we're together, we're family, and without his insane plan, we'd still be strangers. Me too, she said. I forgive him too. We raised our beers, toasted. To Dad, I said, I'm the most manipulative, impossible, brilliant asshole we ever knew. To Dad, Mara echoed, who saved us by almost destroying us. We clinked bottles, drank, and watched the sun disappear into the ocean, together, really together, for the first time in 5 years, and for the rest of our lives. 5 years later, 5 years have passed since that day in Richard Chen's office. 5 years since we chose each other over $50 million. 5 years since Dad's impossible test. 5 years since we got our sister back, our family back, and everything Dad hoped would happen, it happened. But not without complications, not without struggles, not without moments where the money almost destroyed us anyway. Let me tell you what those 5 years looked like. The real story, not the fairy tale. The messy, complicated human story of what happens after you inherit $25 million and think all your problems are solved. Year 1 was euphoria, pure, unfiltered euphoria. I paid off my $90,000 in student loans in one transaction, watched the balance go to zero, cried actual tears, paid back every friend I'd borrowed from, with interest, quit bartending immediately, never poured another drink, started looking for office space for my new venture. Not a startup this time, a foundation, the Ethan Cooper Foundation for Failed Entrepreneurs, helping people who'd tried and failed, who were drowning in debt from business failures, who needed second chances. I funded it with $5 million, hired staff, built programs, started giving instead of taking. Mara took a year off from her firm, spent it with Sophia, getting treatments, travelling, living. Sophia's condition stabilised. The experimental treatment was working. She started walking again, short distances, wobbly steps, but walking. Mara cried every time, documented every milestone. She bought a bigger brownstone, no more medical equipment in the living room. Sophia had a playroom, a normal room for a normal childhood, or as normal as possible. They spent summers at the beach house. Sophia learned to swim slowly, carefully, but she swam, and Mara watched from the beach, crying happy tears. The money had saved them, had given them time, had given them life. We started a business together, like we talked about, called it Twin Ventures, investment firm, but different. We only invested in family businesses, in siblings working together, in family enterprises. We wanted to prove that family and business could coexist, could thrive. We were good at it, really good. Within a year, we'd made our investors, mostly ourselves, another $3 million. The money kept growing. We couldn't spend it fast enough. Year 1 was perfect, too perfect, which should have been a warning. Year 2, cracks started showing. I started dating someone. Her name was Claire. Artist, beautiful, kind. I fell hard, fast, talked about marriage, about future, about kids, and then I made a mistake, a terrible mistake. I told her about the inheritance, about the $25 million. Her eyes changed, just slightly, just enough. She started suggesting things, expensive things. We should buy a bigger place. You should invest in my gallery. We should take a trip to Europe. First class, why not? You can afford it. She never said it directly, never asked, just suggested, hinted, pushed. Mara saw it immediately. She's using you. She's not. Ethan, I'm a lawyer. I've seen this 1,000 times. She's gold digging subtly, but she's doing it. You don't know her. I know the type, and she's it. She didn't care about you when you were broke, but now, you're interesting. Now you're worth her time. We fought. First real fight since the inheritance. She called Claire a gold digger. I called her jealous, controlling. We didn't speak for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The longest silence since we'd reconciled. Claire noticed. Your sister doesn't like me. She's just protective. She's controlling. She doesn't want you to be happy, doesn't want you to have a life outside of her. The seed was planted, the doubt, and it grew. I started seeing Mara differently. Started wondering, was she right about Claire, or was she trying to control me, to keep me dependent, to make sure I stayed her brother and no one else's? I proposed to Claire 6 months into the relationship. Too fast, way too fast, but I was in love, or thought I was. She said yes, showed me the ring she wanted, $40,000. You can afford it, she said, smiling. I bought it. Mara refused to come to the engagement party. Sent a card, nothing else. We didn't speak for a month. Sophia asked about me. Where's Uncle Ethan? Mara didn't know what to tell her. 3 months before the wedding, I found out. Claire had been texting another guy, a friend, or so she said. But the texts weren't friendly. They were intimate, planning, strategic. Just a few more months. Once we're married, it's half his. Community property laws are amazing. She was planning to marry me, wait the minimum time for California community property to kick in, then divorce me, and take half of $25 million, $12.5 million, for a year of fake marriage. I confronted her. She denied it, cried, said I was misreading, that I was paranoid, that Mara had poisoned me against her. But I knew it was real. I called off the wedding. She threatened to sue, said I'd promised, said she'd sacrificed for me. I laughed, bitter laugh. You sacrificed nothing. You tried to con me. Get out. She left. Took the ring, sold it probably. I never checked. I called Mara. You were right. I know. I'm sorry. I know that too. Come to New York. Stay with us. Heal. I did. Spent 2 weeks in her brownstone, playing with Sophia, talking with Mara, healing. The money makes us target, she said. People see dollar signs, not US, just money. How do you handle it? I don't date. I don't trust. I just focus on Sophia, on work, on family. It's lonely, but it's safe. That broke my heart. My sister, beautiful, brilliant, successful sister, alone because she couldn't trust anyone, couldn't let anyone in because of money, because of what people wanted from her instead of with her. Year 3, I threw myself into work, into the foundation, into twin ventures, avoided dating, avoided people, just worked, just gave, just tried to make the money mean something, tried to use it for good instead of letting it destroy me. Mara did the same. She went back to her firm, part-time, took cases for free, pro bono work for families who couldn't afford lawyers, who were being taken advantage of. She became a champion for the vulnerable, for people like we'd almost been, people who almost lost everything to someone's greed. We spent Thanksgiving at the beach house, just us, Sophia, no one else, no partners, no dates, no strangers who wanted our money, just family. We cooked turkey, watched Sophia play on the beach, talked about Dad. Do you think he knew, I asked? Knew what? That the money would be this hard, that it would make us targets, make us lonely. Maybe, probably, he lived it. He was alone for 14 years. No wife, no girlfriend, no friends, just money, just isolation. Maybe that's why he did the test, why he made us choose each other first before the money, so we'd have someone we could trust, someone who loved us before we were rich. Smart, I said. Cruel, but smart. That was Dad. Cruel, but smart. We sat in silence, watching the sunset. I'm lonely, Mara admitted. Me too, I said, but at least we have each other. Yeah, at least we have that. It wasn't enough. But it was something real, something money couldn't buy or destroy. Year 4, Sophia turned 8. Her condition was stable, improving even. She could walk without assistance most days, could run short distances, could be a kid, a normal, happy, healthy kid. We threw her a huge birthday party at the beach house, invited her school friends, their families, and for the first time in years, we interacted with normal people, people who didn't know about the money, who didn't care, who just wanted their kids to have fun. I met someone that day, one of the mums. Her name was Rachel, single mum, teacher. Her daughter was Sophia's best friend. We started talking about kids, about teaching, about life, nothing about money, nothing about wealth, just normal conversation. I liked her, really liked her. She had no idea who I was, what I had. She just saw me. The guy at a kid's birthday party, eating cake, laughing at bad jokes, being human. I asked for her number. She gave it. We started dating slowly, carefully. I didn't tell her about the money, not for months. Just let her get to know me, the real me. Not the millionaire, just Ethan, the guy who ran a foundation, who loved his niece, who was kind of awkward but trying. When I finally told her 6 months in, she didn't believe me. You're kidding. I'm not. You're a millionaire? You? Yeah, me. She was quiet, processing. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted you to know me first, before the money, before the complications. I don't care about your money, she said. I know, that's why I love you. It was the first time I'd said it, meant it, really, truly meant it, she cried. I love you too, the broke version, the rich version, all versions, just you. We got married a year later. Small wedding, beach house. Mara was my best woman, Sophia was flower girl, Rachel's daughter was ring bearer. It was perfect, real perfect, not fake perfect, not money perfect, just happy. Mara met someone too, through work, a client, a woman who'd been screwed over by a predatory lender. Mara won her case pro bono, saved her house. The woman, her name was Nina, asked Mara to dinner to say thank you. Mara went and they talked and talked and talked about life, about struggles, about raising kids alone. Nina was a single mum too, had a son. She and Mara had everything in common. They started dating. Slowly, Nina didn't care about money. She'd never had money. She cared about honesty, about kindness, about showing up, about being present. She was perfect for Mara, grounded her, made her laugh, made her human again. Year 5, this year, we're all together. Me and Rachel, Mara and Nina, Sophia, Rachel's daughter Emma, Nina's son Marcus, 3 kids, 4 adults, one big, messy, complicated family. We spend summers at the beach house, all of us. We invested some money together, Mara, Nina, Rachel and me, in Rachel's school. New programs, better resources, art classes, music classes, opportunities for kids who couldn't afford them. We're using the money for good, for community, for family, not just our family, but everyone's family. Last week, we gathered at the beach house for the 5-year anniversary of Dad's death, all of us. We stood on the beach, watched the sunset. Sophia read a letter she'd written to him, to the grandfather she'd never met. Dear Grandpa Jonathan, Mum says you were difficult. Uncle Ethan says you were impossible, but I think you were smart. You gave them each other. You gave them me. You gave us this. The beach house, the summers, the family. So thank you. Thank you for being difficult. Thank you for being impossible. Thank you for making them choose each other, because without that choice, I wouldn't have my Uncle Ethan, my Aunt Rachel, my Aunt Nina, my cousins, my family. So thank you, Grandpa, for everything. Love, Sophia. We were all crying. Even Nina, who'd never met him. Even Marcus, who was 9 and barely understood. We cried because it was true. Dad's impossible test had worked, not just for me and Mara, but for everyone. We'd built a family, a real family, not based on blood, based on choice, on showing up, on loving each other, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. We stood in a circle, held hands, and Mara spoke. 5 years ago, Ethan and I almost destroyed each other over money, over inheritance, over a test we thought was about sacrifice, but it wasn't. It was about choice, about choosing connection over comfort, love over wealth, family over everything. We chose correctly, and everyone here is proof of that. This isn't just our family, this is the family we built, the family we chose. And Dad, wherever you are, I hope you see this. I hope you know it worked. Your cruel, impossible, brilliant test. It worked. We're happy, we're whole, we're family. Thank you for everything, even the hard parts, especially the hard parts. We scattered his ashes that day, right there on the beach. Let the ocean take them. Let him become part of the place where we'd built our family, where we'd built our future. It felt right, felt complete. That night, Rachel and I told everyone our news. We're having a baby, a girl, due in 4 months. Her name will be Johanna, after Dad, after the man who'd saved us by almost destroying us. Mara and Nina are adopting a little girl from foster care. Her name is Hope, which is perfect, because that's what this whole story is about. Hope that families can heal, that money doesn't have to destroy, that love can win, even when it costs everything, especially when it costs everything. Sophia asked me a question last night. We were walking on the beach, just us. Uncle Ethan, do you ever regret it? Regret what? Almost signing, almost giving up the money for me. I stopped, looked at her. This beautiful, brave, alive little girl who'd almost died, who's thriving now. Never, I said, not for 1 second. Even though You almost gave up $50 million. I didn't give up anything. I gained you. I gained your mom. I gained family. That's worth more than any amount of money. She smiled, hugged me. I love you, Uncle Ethan. I love you too, Sophia, more than you'll ever know. We walked back to the house, back to our family, our chosen family, the family Dad's test had built, and I thought he was right about everything. Money means nothing without people to share it with. Success means nothing without family to celebrate it with. Wealth means nothing if you're alone. We're not alone. We're together, really, truly together, not because we have to be, because we choose to be. Every day, every moment, we choose each other over money, over success, over everything, just like Dad hoped we would, just like his impossible test forced us to. So thank you, Dad, for being cruel, for being impossible, for being brilliant, for knowing exactly what we needed even when we didn't, for forcing us to choose, for giving us the greatest gift anyone can give, each other. We'll never forget that. We'll never take it for granted. We'll choose family every day for the rest of our lives. And when Johanna is born, when Hope joins our family, we'll tell them this story about their grandfather who gave their parents an impossible choice, about how we almost destroyed each other, about how we chose love instead, about how that choice built everything we have now. Every bit of happiness, every moment of joy, every second of this beautiful, messy, complicated life, it all came from one choice, one terrible, impossible, beautiful choice. And we chose correctly. We chose each other. We chose family, and we'd choose it again every single time. The end epilogue, the real inheritance. The money's almost gone now. We've given most of it away to the foundation, to the school, to charities, to people who need it more than we do. We each kept enough to be comfortable, to be secure, to not worry. But the real inheritance, that wasn't the $25 million. It was each other. It was the family we built. It was Sophia's laugh, Rachel's kindness, Nina's strength, the kids playing on the beach, the summers together, the winters together, the life together. That's what Dad left us. Not money, family. And that's priceless. That's forever. That's everything. So if this story made you call your sibling or made you grateful for family you have, remember this: love isn't about what you'd die for. It's about what you'd live for, what you'd sacrifice for, what you'd choose over everything else. We chose each other over 50 million hours, over pride, over everything. And it was the best choice we ever made, the only choice that mattered. Choose family, choose love, choose life. The money will disappear, success will fade, wealth will vanish, but family lasts. If you choose it, if you fight for it, if you're willing to sacrifice everything else to keep it. We did, and we'd do it again, every single time. That's Dad's real gift. That's his legacy, not the money, the choice. And we chose correctly, together, as family, as twins, as people who remembered, finally remembered, that blood isn't what makes you family. Choice is. And we chose each other, always, forever. That's the real inheritance, and it's worth more than all the money in the world.